All right. I'm figured this out. I'm still getting the hang of it. Can y'all hear me? Can I be heard?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is the air conditioner
Can you hear
loud?
me?
I have the air conditioner on, and I don't want to turn it off if I don't have to.
I can't hear anything. I can't hear any of that.
Okay, awesome. Even better. Um, I have so much I want to talk about. Twitter has been like nonstop ridiculous. Like, oh my goodness. But before we get into that in particular, I know that we have like some really dope episodes of Champagne Sharks that are going to be coming out very soon. Also, me and T were just on a podcast. It's called We Be Imagining. I'm pretty sure it's on all platforms. You guys can find us there. We talk about tech and the future of tech and the present of tech and all that stuff. I think there was anything else I wanted to mention. I think that was it. Anything you want to
Okay.
start out with before I get into
No,
the Democrats?
no, no,
No?
no, 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 no. I'm here. I got some stuff that I wanted to go over my damn self. I didn't get a chance to see Ice Cube today. I guess Ice Cube was on CNN.
Oh, I
He's
didn't
on
get a chance
Twitter
to see
right now
that.
cursing out Don Lemon. So
So
something's going on.
I saw that we tweeted out or on the Champagne Sharks account about basically pointing out that Ice Cube had presented his plan to both the Democrats and the Republicans, but for some reason everyone's mad at him because the Republicans actually met with him.
Well, I mean, what it ends up being is I talked about this with somebody else. I forgot who it was. But it was Niger from ADOS Atlanta. I was talking to Niger about this, and one of the things that I found is, and it ain't that I found it. It ain't hard to find it. You got a lot of folks, specifically black people, they don't even read stuff. So a lot of these people were talking about how Ice Cube, he shouldn't be speaking for this person or that person. Ice Cube shouldn't be speaking for. He should be working with grassroots and all this. And I'm like, and then you go look further down, like, oh no, I haven't read it yet. I'm like, what the fuck? You haven't read it? Then shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But that's a issue that we have in our community where we have opinions on everything that we don't even know what the fuck we talking about. So
I
a lot of
mean,
people, what it is a lot of these black people are mad for the simple fact that somebody like Ice Cube, somebody that everybody knows, possibly could sway people to vote a certain kind of way for the simple fact that he presented this. One side said, holla at me later. And the other side said, well, let me check it out.
yeah, and what's interesting to me is how angry people are getting. I'll tell you right now, do I think Ice Cube giving a plan to any politicians is going to come to anything? Probably not. I don't really have a lot of faith in shit like that. I mean,
No.
it's always, everything is always for presentation, but not necessarily for authenticity. So
Not for
I don't really, yeah, for execution, none of it, because they're just meeting with you to meet with you, whatever. I really would have just brushed it off as some shit celebrities were doing, because I don't see him being someone that influences politicians in that way. Because what work has he been doing in politics that would make, Kamala Harris and Biden or anybody give him any attention at all as far as, working? But
right.
he does have a voice and he does have a platform.
Absolutely.
And so I could see this being opportunistic for both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, because by the Dems denying him and the Republicans meeting with him, now we have a whole nother conversation that's coming out. So the Republicans feel like, well, this is great for us because he can influence black men to consider Trump,
right.
And then there's Democrats who are using this as an opportunity to sow divisiveness, which they had already been doing.
They've been doing it anyway.
Throughout their campaign anyway, but sowing this divisiveness between black women and black men and creating this false sense of black men abandoning the black community to vote for Trump or vote for Republicans or whatever else. So
they turn it into black men abandoning black women because the Democrats have let it be known that black women are the ones carrying their water.
Right. So I mean,
And
it
that's
was so
our
many
fault.
things.
That's our fault. Our community, that's our fault.
What do you mean that's our fault?
That's our fault. We should have never put ourselves in a position to be treated like that. How are you going to get, are you serious? Look, a lot of this, I always tell people this. Politics is a lot like boxing. In boxing, you have boxers, then you have promoters. You have to excuse me because I'm cooking. You know, I got to get it in. But you have boxers, you have promoters, you have managers.
Mm-hmm.
In boxing, you have a lot of boxing fans that don't want to see the best fights, but they repeat everything that the promoters say. The promoter don't want to give you the best fight. He want to make money. That's his whole point. If I give up all my best boxers and they lose, I'm gonna lose money. So it's the same type of mindset where you have these people that love these certain boxers and start repeating the bullshit. You're like, man, dude, if you keep saying this, we're not gonna get the best fights. If you keep saying this about these politicians, we ain't gonna get nothing done. But these people don't want to get nothing done. I don't know why people just want to admit it. A lot of black people don't want to get anything done. Okay.
You know, it's funny that you say that because one of the tweets that I saw was a professor who was, you know, just a little Rachel Dolezal-ish, Kruggish.
You talking about the girl with the big nose?
Yeah. So she,
Gonzo.
Yeah. So she's a professor, and she came out talking about Black men's participation in patriarchy. In fact, let me go ahead and show you guys. I'm gonna share it to the screen.
Is there an audience? Because I can't see the audience.
Yes, there is.
Oh,
it's pretty. I know I haven't really engaged them. Okay. Before I show you guys the tweet, because he's pointing out the fact that I haven't really engaged them. Well, shout out to Champagne Comunista. Welcome. Jeffrey Corley. Welcome. Black Magic, 2008, B. Scott, BL, I Sound Info. Who else is in here?
Rock the Mic, Huey Freeman.
Huey Freeman, okay. I think that's it. Walter. What's up, Walter? Yeah. So that's who's in the chat right now. So they're going off in the chat. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it. I see info that I don't think it's just black people. But, you know, this is the thing. I don't really care about anybody else. I'm only going to speak about us because the problem is we don't want to get anything done because what we want to do is we want to go back to the way things used to be. Now, this is the thing that's hilarious. This cracks me up about the whole thing. As soon as the pandemic happened, 2020, all this crazy stuff's been going on. You've seen a lot of black people. Yeah, man, you know, we coming into this new age, man. We got to change the way we thinking. We got to change what we've been doing, except for when it comes to getting something done tangibly. Right. Now they want to talk about going back to 2008 and 2000, whatever the fuck. And it's like, wait a minute. You didn't get nothing then. You didn't get nothing done then. So what are you talking about? Oh, I get it. You just don't. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I'm not voting for Donald Trump. But this one thing I do know, what it is you just mad because Donald Trump hurt your motherfucking feelings. That's all it is. Your feelings is hurt because he told you to your face, fuck you. You ain't shit and you ain't getting shit. Ain't none of y'all blue checks getting a job in this White House. I don't give a fuck who you go tell. That's how Donald Trump is. I don't care who you go tell. Nigga, run tell. Go run tell that.
Well, what's interesting is that the Republicans are, I think, running a better campaign to target black people than Democrats. I have somebody in my inbox right now from the Trump administration. He claims he's with TDE. I don't know. But he's in my inbox now trying to convince me I'm just engaging him because it's just interesting. But he's going hard trying to convince me to vote for Trump. I mean, and he's showing me policies that Trump has in place and all this stuff. Now, my response has been, now show me where he's not a white supremacist racist, because everything I've seen is showing me he's a white supremacist racist. He's like, so he's trying to convince me. And I'm just like, you're just not going to convince me that a person, no, I don't care what they wrote in their website. That's the other thing I get sick of. Don't quit showing me what politicians have written on the goddamn website. Right. That doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
Because that don't mean shit. That's campaign talk.
Show me what actions they have been taking since they have been in their previous offices.
Yeah.
Show me that. Show me how many times they had things written down that they were going to do and they actually executed it to our benefit as black people. Don't tell me no more shit about what they got on their website. Oh, Biden has this on his website. And most of y'all don't even vet that shit. We don't know if that policy is going to turn out to be harmful or helpful. Because you haven't even had a chance to really vet what they're even talking about and how they want to do it. Because sometimes it's not so much, they'll say something like, we want to revamp the community. We want to build it up and make sure we need healthy green space. They'll say all that shit, right? And you like, yeah. And you voting for all the policies that make it that way, only to not be able to stay there when that rent goes up.
Exactly. Now, I want to go back to that big nose girl. I don't like her because I've caught her saying foul shit for years. She's been on Twitter saying foul shit for years. And this is what me and T was talking about. They just give degrees away. You know what I'm saying? Because when we was younger people, you remember back in the day, you turn on BET, you might see Ivan Van Sertima and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and John Henrik Clark and all these different distinguished Black people talking about Black politics and social issues and things like that. Mm-hmm. This is what we got now.
Right.
So we go 25 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, you had Dr. Clark, Francis Cress Welsing, Shahrazad Ali, all these different intellectuals, college professors, having conversations about forwarding the race, forwarding our thinking, forwarding our communities. And now you go 25, 30 years later, now you got this big nose motherfucker saying this dumb shit.
Yeah, so if you guys can you guys see that okay? I hope you guys can.
You can blow it up. I think you can blow it up just by your pad right there.
Yeah, let's see if I can right here.
Now, mind you, first thing about this person, she's half Black, half Jewish. One.
Yeah. You want to go to
an Asian person. She's married to an Asian man.
In fact, let's go to her bio so we can see this. This is her bio, guys. What is this? What is this? Explain this to me.
What is what?
Wakanda. Durham, North Carolina, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Wakanda.
It's wearing your Blackness like a costume. She's Black in cosplay.
What's Cambridge, Massachusetts like? What kind of community is that?
That's where Harvard is.
Oh, so she's showing us Durham, North Carolina.
That's where
Cambridge.
Durham, North Carolina is where Duke is. Duke University.
And Wakanda. Okay.
Cambridge, Massachusetts. That's where Harvard is.
And she's a professor of particle physics and astro. I don't know. Professor, particle physics and astro and feminist. I don't know what his.
So now
is. I don't know what most of this shit is. So but you kind of get an idea of what we're talking about.
Now ask yourself this. What the fuck does she know about politics or history? Nothing. This is all personal right here. That tweet is personal.
In fact, let's go to the beginning of this entire conversation.
Oh shit, you see my face right there.
Huh?
You can see my face right there to the right.
Oh, hey. Let's see. Okay, because you went at her. That's why they said people in this conversation and you was all up in it.
Yeah.
How did I end up here again? Okay. Thinking about the fact that I've seen folks saying that up to 10% of Black men are going to vote Trump, and the fact that every time a Black woman points this out, I see a Black man say that I expect would know better, get her face about it. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Get her face? I guess get upset with her about it.
Yeah.
So already it's already set up with this narrative there's this large number of Black men, like 10% is already a small number. Mind you, Black men who are conservative is such a small, tiny percentage, it doesn't even make sense they're even talking about it. So I think they said like only 8% of Black people are even are conservative at all. So we're talking about a percentage of a percentage. You know what I mean? Like it's really tiny.
But Vita. Yes. I don't give a fuck if 70% of Black people are conservative. What the fuck business of it is of hers? Wait a minute. So I can't be if I'm voting in my interests, why the fuck do I have to vote in your interests? I'm voting for my interests.
Well, her claim is that, but that's what she's saying you guys are doing. Like you're voting for the patriot because your interest is patriarchy.
No, that's a lie.
That's what she's saying. I know it's a lie. I'm telling you what she's saying. That's what she's saying. So what you're saying is you're voting, in your best interest or what you feel is your best interest. That's what she's saying, that Black men are voting what they feel is in their best interest. And it seems to be patriarchal. Let's go to the next tweet. You can see that. Let's see. It seems it's never a good time to talk about Black men's participation in patriarchy, yet it's always a good time to talk about what we women can do to support Black men and the Black community.
Can you find the tweet? I quote tweeted her. As a matter of fact, I'll find it. Don't worry, I got it. This is the crazy thing about people like her. When it comes to people like her, I take issue because they're the perfect example of the people that Jessica Krug is scammy as much of a scammer as she is. She's the perfect example of the type of people she's talking about. She doesn't know any black people in real life. She's not even married to a black person. Okay. So how the fuck you gonna tell us what black people is doing, what black men are doing, or anything? You don't you're so disconnected from the black community. Nobody believes anything you're saying because the only ideas, you're so disconnected from the black community that the only resemblance of a black man that's in your brain is something that you read in theory.
Yeah.
You don't know any black people. And we know you don't know any black people because we've broken you down and your type. We've broken your ilk down long time ago. And Jessica Krug even told y'all to your face, you're not even connected to the community. So again, I don't know why this person or people like her and that, what's the other one? Professor Crunk or whatever her name is.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to her next. Don't worry, I have everything set up. We're gonna talk about all that shit.
So this is what I said. I said, you don't know any black men in real life. That's why Jessica Krug was allowed to flourish around people like you. You're so disconnected from the real black community. The only black men you know exist in your brain based on some white feminist supremacist theory that you read.
Right. And that's the thing. They don't know, like you said, they don't know any black people. They're talking from, and you can tell by how they describe the black community. And it is always with some sort of disdain.
Absolutely.
So in here, she's targeting black men. But to me, if you target black men, you're also targeting black women. Like I don't see
black children.
And black children, exactly. To me, it's all the same. If you target any of those groups, you're targeting black people and you're anti-black. In fact, I got into an argument with someone who tried to tell me this was not anti-black.
Oh, that dude, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll get into that too. So let's scroll on down. Now, this is where I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about, ho? Like, I just really got mad at this. Black men's participation in patriarchy heightens the stress I have around combating racism because we can't just address racism together. We also have to address the fact that some of our fam choose patriarchy over black freedom. Okay, let's just start off with the beginning part of this. Why would black men's anything give you stress around combating racism if you were actually black? Because at the end of the day, you're fighting for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And your children. Oh, clearly not hers. Her husband ain't even black, right? So what is she talking about? Then the other part she goes to, she say, heightened stress that I have around combating racism. Please show me. I tweeted it. Please show me what she's done to combat racism.
She's done absolutely nothing.
How can you combat racism and then quote these racist talking points? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Rock the mic. I'm trying to figure out how to use my mouse right now. Thank you so much for that donation. He says these folks are intellectually lazy and they hide behind unimpressive academic credentials and blue checks to shame black folks into adopting white liberal talking points. Politics is sports to them. Yes. Can we get prizes? Yay, rock the mic. If we could have confetti come down, just everything. Because that is exactly what this entire talk is about to be. I am so glad you brought that up in this way. This is exactly what we're talking about. These folks are intellectually lazy.
Yes.
Lazy. I want to break down what you said, Rock the Mic, because this is so on point. This is right back to Kenny's point. They don't actually know black people. That would take effort to go for them because they don't live in the communities more than likely.
And they don't want to be around black people.
And they don't want to.
They want to wear blackness as a costume. And then they want to go run off into the suburbs or wherever the fuck her goofy big nose ass is from and go back and party over there and be that one token and can go back and say all the things that they say. And what this has turned into is that if you vote for anybody outside of what they want, and we know that their interests don't have shit to do with black people. So if you're not going to vote in their interest or whatever that is, then they can throw all these words like patriarchy and colorism, all this bullshit they always talk about on this goddamn bird ass app on a daily basis because they can't have their way. And they see, this is the crazy thing, and this is what I love about it. They see they don't have any tangible power. They see that they can't shame black people, because Twitter is turning into Facebook, lo and behold.
Yeah,
they don't have any power, and they're starting to look powerless. So now they're going to start bringing out the big guns. So if you
Right.
vote for Donald Trump, it's not because you have a Fortune 500 company and you're taking care of your family and you're taking care of some other people's families because you're hiring people or whatever the policies are. It's because you choose patriarchy.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting here.
As if
That
Joe
whole point.
Biden's not a
What the hell
patriarch.
is choosing? How do you choose a system that has existed before you were born?
She made it up.
Like,
They
and
made
how
it
do?
up.
And how, I have another question. As a Black family, how do we escape it? Like, what are you talking? I'm just so confused. If we're talking about a system that has already existed, what are you talking about escaping it or don't want to?
Now,
Like, I don't even get it. What is? How can you not? Are we all participating in patriarchy?
wait, hold on. Remember when you showed her profile? One thing that her profile said was all Black and all Jewish.
Yeah,
right?
I saw that. Yeah, I saw
So
that.
this is around the time when she gets to choose to be Black. Now, I threw up another tweet, and it was basically saying that 83% of Orthodox Jews are voting for Donald Trump. Now, if you all Jewish, now start explaining.
Yeah, I saw that.
Start explaining because them is your people, because you all Jewish. So let us know what's going on. Are they voting for patriarchy too?
Does that make you want to not fight against anti-Semitism?
It's the same thing with
She ain't
Jamel
tweet
Hill.
that shit.
Same thing with Jamel Hill.
You know what? Let's go to Jamel too.
Yeah, because Jamel Hill just got
I'm
caught up.
I'm kind of over this lady anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to see her nose anymore anyway.
Oh yeah, I gotta go to Jamel. In fact, let me close this out real quick.
But she's been a piece of garbage for years. Me and T been talking about her for years. She's been a piece of garbage for years. And you know, this is the thing. These are the people that you sending your kids to go to college for, and you paying all that $60,000 tuition for them to pump this bullshit. Are you serious? You must send kids to community college.
That's why I say if you send your kids to college, make sure you prep them good. Because one of the things I did like about college is you could argue all day in the class. I was a sociology major, so all we did was argue all day in class.
See, I'm in the shit that she's saying is bullshit to me. I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to find this Jamel Hill shit because I actually had it pulled up. I don't know what happened to it, but
she got caught slipping on a banana peel with her dumb ass.
Oh, here it is. I got it already saved up here. All right, so this is the other tweet. No, not this one. Oh, I didn't share the right screen. Hold on.
Get her nose off my screen, please.
Oh, man.
I got a big nose, but goddamn.
You are so funny.
Nah, I'm joking. Probably.
No, you're not. Doing that self-deprecating humor. I do the same shit.
Hang a hat on that nose, boy.
Okay, here we go. I think I got it now. All right, you guys see that shit? I think there's a way I can make that even better. Let's see. How did I do it before? I did some cool shit last time. I don't know how I did that shit. But at any rate, you guys see this tweet? And it's so funny. Somebody got right on it right after that.
Oh, that's Andre.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Hey, what up, Q? Okay, it says, is it just me or is there really different political strategy, political energy between Black women and Black men? Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
See this? Look at this nonsense.
It didn't do the numbers that she wanted.
Look, explain, what is she even talking about? What she's saying, is it me or is there really different political energy between Black women and Black men? How can you say that when there isn't much difference between how we vote and how we in our politics?
Because facts don't matter, only feelings matter.
Yeah, that shit is so. That shit. The fact that she even said that. Now, what I thought was hilarious was Andre or Q he posted this up. Apparently, she said this before. Can you guys see that? So how are you talking about Black men when you actually know a Black woman who voted for Trump?
And your own mama.
Yo mama. She's been voting Republican since post Bill Clinton.
So that means she voted for Bush 1.
She's been voting conservative.
Yeah.
But she's talking about what Black men are and aren't doing.
Right.
But the energy is different and all this bullshit. None of this shit is to me, none of this shit is an accident. This is all part of some sort of weird democratic agenda.
Look, you just took the words right out of my brain. What we're seeing is, and I'm put on the tinfoil fitted hat real quick. These people know that app is pretty much proliferated with a bunch of like Democrat, white liberal bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you just made me disappear.
I was trying to fix it. I'm getting the hang of this, guys. Please be patient. I'm gonna learn Twitch next.
They know that app is fulfilled with all of that. Mm-hmm. And what ends up happening is they know that there's a party line that they go across, and they know what's going to get them attention. Jamel Hill don't believe that bullshit. She don't believe it.
This is a good point, Gold
exactly.
Link. This is a really good point.
Yeah.
Because even people who don't fuck with the Democrats voted for Obama. Because you know what I mean? Like, even white people stopped voting Republican to vote for Obama.
Jamel Hill is a liar. She's a liar. And she lies on that app every day. And we know she's a liar because she's always making them stupid ass jokes that ain't funny. So she's a liar and she's a propagandist. She used to work for ESPN. ESPN is nothing but a propaganda sports network. That's all it is. It's not journalism. It's propaganda. She's still doing the propaganda. How in the hell did you forget that you told us your mama been voting conservative since Bill fucking Clinton? Bill Clinton ain't been in office since 1999, 2000.
And your focus is on black men.
Exactly.
That's where I get lost. Why are you talking about black men at all?
You know there ain't no different energy. You know what the facts are, but you're lying because you know that if you throw that divisive bullshit out there, it's going to get you some attention for one. Two, it's going to make people want to start looking into things. But you didn't think about, because this is how stupid your Ninja Turtle looking ass is. You didn't think about the fact that we can pull up your shit and see where you say, and you know she never addressed it.
Oh, I noticed. She's not going to.
No.
And Andre's a blue check, so you know she saw it.
Yeah. She didn't. I know she saw it because Andre has a lot of followers and they got a lot of retweets. So I know she saw it.
You know she saw that shit. She saw all kinds of other shit. So yeah.
Yeah. So you a liar. You're a known liar. So this is what we got. We got a whole community of black people trying to shame you into doing what they want you to do with no reason. There's no rhyme or reason outside of saying, well, because Donald Trump is a fascist. Well, Joe Biden's a fucking racist. So what the fuck is the difference? People say fascist, I say racist. Black people have been dealing with fascism since 1619. What do you want to do? Okay. So at the end of the day, what is it about this election that you guys, I know what it is. Well, we already know what the Greeks want to do. They want to stomp the yard and swag surf on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and it's never going to happen. But they want to get Kamala Harris in these positions so that they can get some type of clout. It's never going to happen because she don't give a fuck about them.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. But this is all personal clout. And this is where black people get it fucked up when we leverage our votes. We vote for personalities. We do not vote for politics. I think Umar Johnson said that a couple days ago.
I mean, I think that's true. And I think it's more than that. I think it's not just that they vote for personality. I think they vote for who has the best marketing strategy as far as how to sell themselves to black people. Some people just know how to. What'd you say?
But what did you get out of it?
I mean, clearly nothing. So I'm not arguing in favor of it. I'm just
asking, like, for these people, like, what? I mean, look how disrespectful it's been. They got motherfuckers twerking. They got motherfuckers stripping. They got motherfuckers on a basketball court. Do you know they calling you a nigga to your face?
Yeah.
And you are, but I really do believe that there's a certain section of black people that long for the days of being able to go sleep in a slave master's bed and keep it warm for them. And they just can't understand why white people don't like them. They just can't understand it. They can't get over the fact that when they go into certain areas where they live and they look down on black folks that live around other black people and they talk shit in real life, when they go into their neighborhoods, they just can't understand why their white neighbors won't be their friends, why they won't invite them to the barbecue, why they won't come over and kick it with them. They cannot figure that shit out. And that's some deep-seated self-hate shit. You know what I'm saying? And then it plays out into what they're doing.
I always like to quote that professor that says he, calls it a white supremacy trauma insurance. That's what it sounds like. Like,
yeah.
It's funny because you and I don't want to call this person out because I don't remember their Twitter handle, but also it's not about that. You and I got into a discussion with she was talking about a girl who was in a video. And what's funny is I watched it like 3 times to trying to figure out what the hell she was talking about. What was the problem with how she was talking? I just thought, was it the stuff she was saying? And it's like anything unusual from just hood videos, what they be saying, you know? But this one person was like, she'll never get a husband talking like that, or men don't like that, or no man likes that. She was really generalizing this. And what's interesting is she's an extremely pro-black tweeter, you know, but
always saying pro-black stuff on Twitter.
Right. But being very elitist about black accents and saying this girl couldn't even date a plumber.
Yep.
She'll never date an investment banker. She'll never date this, and she'll never or marry. Excuse me. She was
so their mindset is always stuck on how can I get closer to white status.
And I was just about to say that. I said to be so pro-black, and for your range of what you consider to be successful or healthy for black people is reaching a level of success with white people.
Exactly.
And because I kept thinking, I said, first of all, there aren't that many black men who make over $100,000 a year. Because she kept saying that, you know, this girl's she can't marry anybody who makes $100,000 a year or more or something like that. So any guy that makes 6 figures.
Even if you make $100,000, doesn't mean you a good dude.
And I said, man, there was so much to that because this idea that let's just get to this. First of all, most black people don't make 6 figures, and most black men don't make 6 figures, right? No. Like we know this. So the chances of of the majority of black women marrying an investment banker or 6-figure guys is pretty slim to none, regardless of what you talk like. So that shit made absolutely no sense. But when you're trying to evaluate black people based off of this white standard, that's the kind of shit you come up with to say. So
it always boiled down to how much money somebody makes. It's never about if you're happy or not. You know, go ahead.
I like what Todd was saying about the Democratic Party. I want to make sure we didn't forget that. He said it's the pre-setup to blame black men in the event that Biden loses.
Absolutely.
And you know that's going to happen. Like that's without a doubt. I think they did it last time.
2016. Yeah.
But what's interesting is I'm only hearing chastisement, just like we heard chastisement of black people as a whole for not wanting to vote for Democrats or even saying anything negative about Democrats. Now they're targeting black men in particular.
Yeah.
And they're generalizing based off of this small population that most of us don't even know. I don't even know any black conservatives like that. The only one I know is this political plant named Joe Collins. If you guys see his ads, he's a fucking coon. He doesn't have any real platforms. He's nothing good for South.
Is that dude that was walking around in LA talking about, I grew up over here.
Yeah.
And I survived the drive-by.
He just hates Maxine Waters. That's it. And
standing in front of her house.
All his donors, all his supporters are white people. But outside of him, I don't even really know no black conservatives outside of TV and shit in the internet. So, and most of us probably don't because there's such a small population of black conservatives.
Barkley, maybe.
Yeah, that's again celebrities, right?
Yeah.
So, to me, it doesn't make sense to overgeneralize the population unless, like Todd said, it's a setup for something.
Yeah.
Why are they sowing so much division between black men and black women? That's what I'm really trying to understand. There's a reason why, and there are so many black women falling into it. Whether sometimes there are situations between black men and black women that are legitimately things we need to address and talk about. But the way that they talk about it and the way they talk about addressing it isn't about healing together. It's always about chastising and blaming black men. Black men need to do better. Black men are killing everybody in the black community, which isn't even true. Most black people aren't killers in general, and most black men are not killers.
Let's preface this. This conversation only exists on the internet.
Yeah.
It only exists on Twitter.
Yeah, but this is the thing though. It's going beyond the internet when you have political strategies based off of it. It's going beyond the internet when you have academics who have a lot of power and influence in what goes out into the world saying a lot of this bullshit. When in fact, let's go ahead and get to Brittany because I'm gonna get mad.
This is the problem. And this is why I say it only exists on the internet, because if you ever told people that in real life, it's going to fuck up your strategy and it's going to fuck up your votes.
Yeah.
So they know that Twitter is the #1 platform to try to influence people. These people all have deep-seated problems. I say this all the time. Wait till there's nothing going on and see what they tweeting about. These motherfuckers got problems, okay? But these people are, and it is a setup for them to be able to blame black men, but this is the hilarious thing about it. And I hate to be so ironic about it. Blame black men. What the fuck you gonna do about it? What's gonna happen? You're gonna be sitting right here looking like a nigga like everybody else, because that's how they're gonna be looking at you. So you can blame whoever the fuck you want. So so at the end of the day, we back at the bottom of the slave ship, arguing about whose chains are tighter. Okay, all right, well, whatever. Get it over with.
That's another thing that's how I feel about light skin, dark skin discussions.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's arguing about who got it better on the plantation, but you niggas is on the plantation.
Yep.
Like, that's the problem. We're all on the plantation. It's like when they post that study about how light-skinned women get lesser jail time than dark-skinned women, which is bad, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, black women are still incarcerated at a larger percentage than any other group. So Walter says, I think it's also a setup for Biden winning, in which case black agendas will all be split into gendered combos and we'll get nothing but white women will. I don't even think we'll get
what happened from 2008 to 2012. What's the difference?
I don't even think that's going to happen. That never happened. What are you talking about? When did a politician won and then they had all these split gendered agendas for? No, I don't know
about gender.
Unless he means in general. Maybe he means in general, not just black people. I'm thinking about it. That's when the gender wage gap shit was coming out and the Planned Parenthood stuff. That's true. Okay, now I think I get what Walter's. If he means generally, I think I get what he's saying. Because that you're right. There were a lot of gendered combos at the time. Absolutely. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. This right here. Now let me real quick before I even continue. Let me get on this whole feminist kick about the gender wage gap, which I said on Twitter the other day. Like it's such a fucking joke. It's not. There's no real gender wage gap. There's a racial wealth gap. That's what there really is. These white women make way more money than black men.
Absolutely.
Way more money. Like twice as much.
Absolutely.
But these white women who allegedly care so much about black issues and black families and black women aren't out there marching for racial, to decrease the racial wealth gap.
Because that's tangible.
Right.
That's tangible shit.
Well, it doesn't. It does not affect them because they don't actually give a fuck about black people. So
no.
That's the thing. It's not trendy enough. Now, if it becomes a trend to say, if we had a slogan for the shit, they'd be all over the slogan. They have the signs in their front yard.
It was never going to be a slogan because they're never going to take white wealth and put it into black hands. I don't give a fuck what their political position is.
No, I'm saying whatever black people, if we come out and we're like, hey, let's have we're going to chant this, they'll have all the signs up. If we need reparations, I bet you there'll be white people in California, at least, where black people need reparations. As long as it's a sign, that's all I got to do. I don't got to do shit else. I'm going to fight for legislation.
Well, remember this. When this shit first started back in March, everybody was on the same page. And what did it turn into?
Yeah.
It turned into everybody else's bullshit. So
I wanted to also look at your girl Brittany.
Yeah.
This shit really, now this to me was really disgusting because she's probably the most popular professor after Melissa Harris Perry wasn't on MSNBC no more.
And let's just preface that she's a fucking hack. Okay. This
completely.
Brittany Cooper or whatever her name is, she's a fucking hack. She's not a real professor. We outed her out yesterday for lying on cited sources and all kinds of shit anyway. So. And
we're going to talk about exactly that. Yeah. Because she's a fucking liar. Which is sad because you're a professor. You're supposed to be about some shit.
You should be on point.
And you have access to a lot of minds. So this is what she decides to tweet. And this shit really made me mad. Like beyond mad. I'm reminded that in the 19th century, black women used sex strikes to make sure that brothers didn't vote against black interests, which is to say there has always been this rogue black male element among us, and sisters have always been on point. Anyway, I've said enough today. Now, first of all, it's not even true.
It's not true at all.
It's not true. And even if we didn't have the facts on that, how can you call this small population of black men like, oh, this is a black male element, this rogue black male element among us, as though there isn't a rogue black female element also among us.
Which is her.
So on top of that, let's look at this. I remind in the 19th century, black women used sex drives to make sure that brothers didn't vote against black interests. Actually, what I think it was, they didn't vote Democrat. I think that was the original
Democrat, right?
So she was just lying.
That's the time of the Dixiecrat. So that's when the parties were flipped over.
Right. So let's go to this. Go to this one. She says, by the way, this happened during the period when black men could vote after 1870 and black women couldn't. And first of all, let's clarify that shit. Black men with property.
Yes.
And guess what? Most black men were legally barred from owning property. What the fuck is she talking about?
That's during Reconstruction, 1870. That's Reconstruction.
Talking about the two niggas that had money and some land? What the fuck are you talking about?
And some mulattoes. That's
like, it. The shit was fucking ridiculous.
And first of all, you know me, I gotta be an asshole kind of, but ain't nobody getting in your motherfucking hamburger helper ass bed. So what the fuck you talking about sex?
Nah. Look,
out of here.
I'm sure she has sex. I'm not gonna do that, but
she's not.
You don't know that. Don't say that. So, by the way, let's go back. Let's go down. I mean, then when those dudes tried to vote with the enemy at that time, the Dems who have fought to keep slavery, black women withheld sex as one tactic to make black men use the vote to benefit black people.
She's lying.
First of all, you're not going to convince me that all these black men struggle with knowing how to vote for their interests unless black women told them how to vote.
Say that black people fought for the Confederacy, that's true. That's history. If that's what you want to say, cool. But if you're going to tell me that during Reconstruction, now you got to remember this at that time, that's around the time of the compromise of, 1871? So the compromise of 1877. So the compromise of 1877 was when the Democrats and Republicans made a deal. And they made a deal to let the Republican win the White House, as long as they got rid of the military in the South. So what the fuck benefit would a black person have to vote Democrat when they're going to get rid of the military and the Freedmen's Bureau in the South and implement white supremacy back in the South? All the black people that were supposed to get land got it taken away. So if there was any black people that had land back there, I guarantee you a lot of them got it taken away because they gave the land back to the Confederacy. So you're lying. That didn't happen. Okay?
Yeah. So she's playing with history, lying on shit. She's a professor. That's the part that kills me. She said, in terms of citation, I think this story is in this book. But I think it is out of print, and I can't find my old copy, or I'd screenshot it first. So you're just going off your memory. You ain't even go back and reference the shit.
He's going off your memory.
I seem to remember this time, but it's from a book that's out of print, and I can't find my copy.
So you'll never get the answer because the book don't exist anymore. So just take my word for it.
Okay. So yeah, so that shit. We can go in on that. That's enough of that. I'm tired of seeing her.
There was the actual a historian actually clowned her and posted the citation, and it wasn't true.
So yeah, you want to look at that now?
Yeah, if you can find it. I don't know.
I got it already ready. Listen, I was ready for this convo.
You got receipts.
I got receipts. I got it all. So here is the receipt. Let me share that with you. Okay, how do I do this? Oh, I did it again wrong. Sorry. I'm getting worse at this. I'm getting worse at this, guys. Yeah, I got it. I'm just getting worse at actually sharing my screen. Okay, there we go. Y'all can see that? I'll zoom in. I'll zoom in for you guys. Hold on. All right. That clear for you guys? So let's give a shout. I'm going to give a shout out to Rennie Tay on Twitter. He's part of Resistance Noir as well. And he posted this on his Twitter. This is the citation. Now, I'm going to go just right to the this highlighted part because I think that's the key part here. Hopefully you guys can see it okay. Oh, I'm seeing a lot. Okay, let's
Just go
start
ahead and
here.
read it. Just go ahead and read it.
Black Republican politicians throughout the South took women's participation seriously and publicly encouraged them to abstain from sexual relations with any man who voted Democratic. Some women left their Democratic husbands. Engaged women were encouraged to postpone the wedding until after the election when they could obtain assurance that their future husband was not a Democrat. In Alabama, women banded together in political clubs to enforce these sanctions collectively. Some politicians who endorsed women's use of weapons to influence their husbands to vote. It is likely that rather than initiating these actions on the part of African American women, Republican legislators merely recognized and endorsed actions initiated by the women themselves. These examples all suggest that African American women and men understood the vote as a collective, not an individual possession, and furthermore, that African American women unable to cast a separate vote viewed African American men's vote as equally theirs. Their belief. Oh, that's a whole other part. But yeah, so essentially, that key part is such the last part such a key part.
Yeah.
So basically, Black women always were vote. Black people voted as a family, even when Black men could vote and
the
Black
same
women
way they do right now.
So what is she talking about?
Well, because she's already got it in her mind. She already hates Black men, so she already has it in her mind that something is going to happen that's going to not make her happy, and Black men are going to be the reason for it. Black people have voted as a block since the beginning of time. The problem is we don't ask for nothing and we don't ever get nothing. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. We never had a problem with who we vote for. We never had a problem with which party we vote for because we always vote together at 90% and above. So I don't know what either one of them goofy motherfuckers is even talking about, because they, and now again, people have been posting facts about what the percentages have been, and they've all just been deflecting. If Black people voted 99%, they would talk about that 1%.
Yeah, I thought Rennie did a good job breaking it down. I'm not really great at re-explaining shit, so we're just gonna go through Rennie's tweet. I thought he really explained it well. So he points out, notice that this is not the 19th century patriarchal notion of men voting on behalf of women because Black women had individual will and Black women voted against their interests. So to be sure, those Black men who voted conservative were marginal at best. She tried to suggest it was the rule. Also about the sex strike, the text says Black politicians encouraged Black women to abstain from sex. Then a few lines later in the text suggests that it is likely these Black political actors recognized already established patterns and endorsed them. So I thought that was interesting. I thought he broke.
So they didn't even have to go to that level because they were already voting together as a family.
Right.
So why lie?
So, yep.
You know what she did? She watched Chirac and read Listeria and thought it was real.
Really?
That's what Chirac is about, the movie. That's the only reason why. That's the only thing I could think of where she would get this idea from, because it didn't happen.
Like, just because some people said, suggested it, doesn't mean that it happened in large numbers. Because honestly, how would you even track that?
You can't.
Thank you, Badman Bantu. I appreciate the shout out on my hair. I'm sorry, I had to stop and make that point. Because when somebody compliments your hair as a Black woman, you want to make sure you acknowledge it. So thank you. Kenny just checked out. Whatever.
I ain't got no hair. What the fuck am I
gonna do? Fair enough. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. But yeah, so to me, when I see things like this, my brain goes, "There's an agenda here," because she's a known Democrat, and she is 100% Democratic Party. I don't even know what she does. What. I don't know what her job. I'm sure she has a job with them. I don't know what that job is, but I know she has one.
Yeah.
So I just want to know. I just want to know, what is your goal? Thank you, iSound Info. I have to put those up when people compliment my hair. And yes, it's purple, my favorite color. Your head is nice and shiny, Kenny. They're showing you love too.
Okay, and I ain't got no bumps. See, I take care of my scalp.
It
I
looks
take care of my
smooth.
skin.
That's what I'm talking. You
Okay.
exfoliate? You must
Thank
exfoliate.
you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, the Triple Rock, for donating $20. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you appreciate the stream because we appreciate you. Because this conversation to me is important because where are you going to get more? Where else are you going to get these kind of conversations? Because nobody else is pointing this shit out.
Well, because everybody else, I think everybody else, and I can't speak on anyone specifically, but I know a lot of other people, they have their own agendas. And on the Champagne Sharks, we don't have one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who Vita's voting for. She don't know who I'm voting for. I don't know who T is voting for or Mario. We don't have no agenda. So I'm not about to, and there's another podcast that I used to like, and I started seeing they had agendas, and I was like, that's not a good look. So I'm like, okay, where are people going to get information where we just going to give you the information? I'm not telling you what to believe. If you come away from today and you're a person that's watching and you still don't like black men and you still believe that black men is the reason why whatever is going on in your little brain, fine. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm not here. But what I am going to do and what we are going to do is we're going to draw parallels. We're going to show you one of two things. We're going to show you where you're lying, for one. And then two, we're going to point out your contradictions and we're going to show you in the light that you don't want to be seen, just like we did Jamel Hill. Jamel Hill told that lie on Twitter for some reason and forgot that she said that her mom's been voting Democrat since 1992 or 96, post Bill Clinton.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's terrifying that these are the people in power that are supposed to be speaking for black people. When I say in power, I mean not necessarily that they have actual power, but they have the ear of the people who have power.
Absolutely. Yes.
And they're using them it's like imagine when white people say, my black friend says I can say nigger.
Right.
That's all that's happening. These Democrats are basically using their fucked up policies and saying, oh, we have the backing of this black person who clearly speaks for black people because she writes about black liberation or whatever the hell. I'm just she writes about liberation. I don't know what the fuck she writes or talks about. But I don't give a fuck about her. But yeah, so they're basically using these people to again, and I love using this phrase. I got it from Dr. Amos Wilson, to put a black face on white supremacy.
Absolutely.
That's the entire goal.
It's
to put a white face on black face on white supremacy.
This is how crazy it is. We got live video of Joe Biden currently saying racist, crazy shit. Yeah. And these people are still saying, yeah, but it don't matter. It don't matter. What? How does it not matter? So wait a minute. How can you convince me that me as a black person is going to get anything? Because that's what voting is for. When I vote for you to ask for something and I want you to do something, that's why I'm voting for you. So how are you going to convince me that I'm going to get anything if I'm hearing this dude say all this crazy shit about, what did he say on one video? I think it was back in May when he said, yeah, if you see this neighborhood, because if you got cocaine in this neighborhood, it ain't the same as having a neighborhood where there's crack. What?
Wow.
And you're going to try to convince me that this motherfucker's going to do something for me? Outside of lock me the fuck up?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're supposed to just trust people despite this dumb shit that they say. That's what they do with Biden all the time. He says dumb shit all the time, and they make excuses for it, and they get mad at us for being mad at it. Or calling it out.
This is what it is. They want those Negroes to be the parents and we're the children. That's their gatekeepers to white supremacy. It's almost like when you come inside the office at your job and there's somebody standing right there and they won't let you in to go get your check. They're gatekeepers to white supremacy. That's all they are. They're not going to get anything. A couple of them are probably going to get a job doing some goofy shit for the White House where they're going to take pictures and write articles about some shoes that Kamala is wearing. These motherfuckers will lead you to believe that Kamala Harris is the one running for president, not Joe Biden.
Right.
That's how far gone they are. And they're mad because we see it. They're pissed about that. That's why they're mad at Ice Cube. They're pissed because they know that Ice Cube is literally standing in the middle. He's not standing on either side. He's standing in the middle, and they don't want that. They don't want you to say...
You're not allowed to be in the middle.
Absolutely not.
Being in the middle means that you're not pro-black. Because clearly the only way to be pro-black is if you're Democratic.
Exactly. If you're standing in the middle, we can't trust you because you might fuck it up for us, which is something you had a lot of Negroes saying back in the 1960s. They didn't like Martin Luther King. They didn't like Stokely Carmichael and the Black Panthers. They didn't like them because they was messing it up for them. Whatever that was, a job or whatever. You're messing it up for us. These same Negroes exist to this day. It's the same people. They just look different. They're wearing Air Jordans. That's it.
Yeah, they said Don Lemon was trending. I was trying to find out what he was trending for.
For being a punk. He's always being a punk for some reason.
Every once in a while, he'll be on point.
He'll be on point every once in a while, but a lot of times he's,
No, a lot of times he's on some bullshit. But
yeah,
he some every once in a while he'll say something that's interesting, or he'll call some shit out. But either way, I just wanted to really go in on that because that shit really pissed me off. I have a big problem with the division between black men and black women. I have a big problem with black people buying into it.
Yep.
And acting like
it's not real.
But acting like it's for my favor as a black woman. I had to tear somebody else up because this other thing. Oh man, this other thing. So because black women are pushing this narrative, white women are repeating it.
Absolutely.
For example, we've all heard the phrase, listen to black women, which is real patronizing. I don't like that at all. It just sounds real first of all, there's some black women I don't want you niggas listening to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Professor Crunk being one of them, right?
Absolutely.
The other thing is, it completely dismisses the voices of black men and black boys, and that really bothers me. Now you have this white woman says some dumb shit. Oh, she was mad about the whole Bill Burr thing.
Yeah, I remember.
So, did you guys see the Bill Burr thing? Most of us probably saw his stand up, but he basically called out particularly white women. Well, white women were pissed. And some white lady wrote some rant about it. And a black man basically checked her on her shit. And she got mad and, started saying dismissing him, and then tried to say, well, and then she posted a tweet, I will only listen to black women.
Right.
After she just disrespected this black man. So you know what I did? I said, okay, you want to listen to black women? I went in there and tore her ass up.
Right.
And then she tried to act well, I don't know what I said was racist. I even broke it down. I said, you said all this fuck shit because you were upset. This is what she said. She said, try to say that Bill Burr was some sort of misogynist or whatever. And I said, by you even adding that part to it means you're not taking accountability. Because what they do is they'll say, yeah, Bill Burr, as white women, we do have to work on things. But then you focus on that part. Because what they did was they tried to spin that shit to make themselves the victim again.
Absolutely, which they always do.
So, which is what the entire point of that fucking monologue was. So it was a monologue on Saturday Night Live. That's what I was trying to remember what it was. Yeah, it was on Saturday Night Live. And so this white lady's on Twitter pissed off, and I'm just like, you're trying to say you acknowledge the fact that white women need to change, but your entire focus has not been on how you need to change. Your focus has been on the man that called it out. Because now you're the victim of this white man.
Yep.
And then you see niggas defending the shit, her. And I said, nigga is a black man. And I said, why are you in white folks shit? Sit your ass down.
Yeah, sit down and shut up. The thing about it is that these people are the most unaccountable people on the planet. I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. So when I seen what she was saying, and I was like, damn, this is very interesting why she's getting mad. But then I also noticed it wasn't just her. All the skeletons started coming out the closet. All these liberal white women started saying all this foul shit about black people, foul shit about the black community, foul shit about black men in particular. And I said, you stupid motherfuckers, open this door. Mm-hmm. You open the door for outsiders to speak on your sons, your uncles, your daddies, your grandfathers. You think because you have a dirtbag boyfriend that's the only person they're talking about. No, they're talking about your 4-year-old son too, you stupid fuck.
And your brother.
And
you know what I mean? So this is my thing. You are not pro black woman if you're anti my brother.
Absolutely.
You are not pro black woman if you're anti my father.
Ain't no way.
You are not pro black woman if you're anti my children.
Ain't no way.
It's not even possible because who am I without them?
Ain't no way.
Black women don't exist without black men.
Well,
black men don't exist without black women. We literally do not exist without physically, literally will not exist without each other.
Yeah. But that's why I always say this ain't real life, because these same people, they need, majority of black people live around other black people.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know the statistics on this, but I would say 95% of black people live around other black people. So for you to get online and believe in this stupid shit, I know you're lying. Because nigga, when you open your fucking door, your mailman is black. The neighbor next door that you asked to give you a jump because your car raggedy is black. Okay? So I know you lying. You doing this shit for clout. You doing this because you chose to have a dirtbag baby daddy. This is I'm not.
I won't even say that they chose it, because I don't. And the reason why I say that, because I think generally people don't realize that they need to heal from their shit, so they blame everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, they blame everybody else. So everybody does this. It's a human thing. But people, it's easier to blame everybody else and say the problem is outside of you than to look at yourself. So instead of saying something's wrong with me and I need to figure out why I'm attracting these type of people, and I keep falling for these type of people. And by the way, there's actually literal science why you are attracted to certain types of people. There's a science to it. It's not just magic as people like to assume. It literally has to do with your personality but when I say personality, I don't even mean that dumb shit most people are talking about. Like, do you like the same movies? But but it's like, are you a person who's more of a pushover or a person who's more assertive? Those kind of things are what attract people.
And we found that Twitter's become a rest haven for these people. Like, if whatever is going on in your life, there's a group of people that you can find that think the same way you do, and it allows you to not be accountable and not actually get help. And if you need help, because I think a lot of these people be playing, you know what I'm saying? So for the people that do need help, they don't want no help because they're narcissistic.
Well, they don't even know that, right? If you're a narcissist, you don't know you need help. You don't know how to get help.
Right.
In fact, you don't think you need help because
that white woman that was going off and getting mad and everything, she ended up blocking me, of course.
I'm actually trying to find this lady that said I copied her tweet. And we didn't even say the same thing, but even then, both of what things that we said were really generic statements. Mm-hmm. Here it is. Oh, I found it. I found this shit. She really said this shit.
And this is what I be trying to tell people is like, man, you got to be careful when you're talking this political stuff and all this social justice stuff with white women, because they do a really good job of masking.
So I don't even think this is a real person. I mean, it's a person, but I don't think the person in the profile is them.
Right.
So let me get to this. Oh, I did it wrong again. See, I still can't figure out how to do this shit. Okay, now we go. I'm getting there. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm gonna get better. I promise.
That I even seen a white woman retweet your tweet video and say you copied her. That's funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to share right now. She really said. Now this is what she said. I said so the white lady right here. Can you guys see that? This is one of the 2 or 3 white women I argued with that day. So she said Bill Burr is trash and has always been trash, not because he doesn't raise valid criticism in some of his comedy, but because he has always leveraged his ability to point them out to the detriment of change and the benefit of blah, 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 right? Some bullshit. So I said, you mad because he was talking about you. Now, to me, it seems like a very unoriginal, generic statement. And when I wrote it, I really don't see how I could have copied it. But anyway, she said I stole her shit. And this is what she said. You're just mad he was right. One, they aren't the same statement. They're both generic as fuck. Like, right. I've seen a million people say that the same exact thing. Yeah. For some reason, I think because Andre retweeted me, or a few blue checks had retweeted me who had large followings, and so it went viral. And I didn't know that woman, this Mraz or whatever, I didn't know she was like a very hated feminist.
Nobody likes her.
And I didn't even know who she was. So when I tweeted it, I didn't know it was going to go viral because I didn't know who the fuck she was. That shit, I think it went to over 4,000 retweets. And I was just talking shit. It's amazing to me, the shit that I tweet that actually goes viral always trips me out. Because I feel like I be dropping gems and I don't get no likes. One person not like anything. In fact, he don't even like my shit. Kenny just come on my tweets and start clowning, start talking shit.
Basically.
So even when I be dropping gems, nobody's really paying attention except Kenny to bother me. So, but when I'm dropping, some dumb shit like that, It's all over the world. It's just all over the world.
She was mad because she didn't get as much clout as you did.
I didn't mean to click that. The thing is, this chat shit be moving fast sometimes, and I'm trying to click certain things. Accountability is only for Black men. Candace Owens is the most outspoken Trump supporter, and I haven't seen a single think piece on Black women needing to do better. Let's not forget about Diamond and Silk either.
See? Now I hate to say it like this because I'm gonna sound fucked up.
Oh, and Omarosa. Remember Omarosa?
On Twitter, women don't have to be accountable for anything. I've seen women on Twitter say crazy shit. And I'm like, I don't know if you're not getting suspended for that. Oh, you're not getting suspended for that. Oh, nobody's asking you to be accountable. Okay. Yeah. So this is my 4th Twitter account because you know me, I keep getting banned and suspended and shit. So I'll just change my conversation, and there's certain things I'll look at it and move on because I know.
In fact, no, you don't know. You don't. You comment. I'm not gonna say nothing because I don't want to get banned again.
I'm gonna be nice. That's why I usually always say I'm gonna be nice. So I'm gonna just go ahead.
And then he hits me in my DMs talking shit. That's exactly what he does.
See, because I know because I'm a Black man that eventually all it takes is 2 people to say that I'm saying something that I'm not. Like when I put that Muhammad Ali tweet up, it started going viral and I got banned.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? All because of that Muhammad Ali tweet. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even say anything about it. I just posted the video. And I got banned for that. You know, so that's why I said that app is for liberal white women, people in the LGBTQ community, people that want to post porn, and people that want to just talk crazy, you know, mindless behavior bullshit. Because those Black people can exist. If you're going to tweet mindless behavior shit about gender wars and Tyler Perry and all that shit, you ain't getting suspended. As soon as you start talking political stuff and you start influencing other Black people, especially if you're a Black man, you're getting thrown out the fucking paint.
Well, because what happens is people start reporting, so they get into these mass report things. So if a gang of people report it, they pretty much usually ban the person.
Yep.
So Colonel COVID Gaddafi said, and I just show up on Vita's tweets to get in fights. Now, what's funny about that, if you want to get into a fight, my tweets are the place to do it because my mentions be, you know what's so crazy? I don't think the shit I be saying is crazy, but my mentions be going off. Like, people.
It'll be crazy. It'd be some logical stuff. It's just that there's so many people there's something wrong with it.
It's some illogical stuff. But that dude that you just showed me, I forgot Bam or Bam, whatever the fuck his name was. I had to eventually block him because it's like no matter what I tweeted negative about the Democrats, he was gonna pop up. So I would always, people be just fighting with each other in my mentions, going back and forth. That should be wild.
No, but I'm saying the stuff that you say is logical.
Right.
And they just show up going crazy.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I think I be saying shit that's gonna be basic, and then I'm hit with some dumb shit. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. ISOUT info. You already know. I'm getting ready. So I got more shit I wanted to talk about outside of politics. I just didn't put it in the description. Did you see those videos, Kenny? I don't know if you saw them. It's like, hopefully I'm able to pull them up on my page. So I would like for you to see this. Yeah, but it's these little clips that came out. It's like a podcast with a couple, and the husband was asking like, why do women put pressure on men to get married?
Okay. No.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting conversation. But there was one I commented on because I felt like what I said was pretty basic. But then I got people arguing with me as usual. Like, people got mad because I said Black men and Black women needed each other. So clearly, no matter what I said,
only on Twitter they'll say that's not true. Only on Twitter.
You know.
They'll lie to you about who they date, and everybody's dating a Kardashian or whatever nice looking white dude is out. Whoever that is, they lying.
It's crazy trying to use my Twitter so I'm using my tablet to record. By the way, is my camera better this time? Because I just got tired of having a bad camera.
It is.
Good. Is it a good thing or is it too much HD on my skin? And I can see how crazy I am.
Ain't no such thing as too much HD. Shit.
Too much HD?
No, I said ain't no such thing as too much HD.
Oh. Okay, here we go. I think I found it. So I'll find this comment I made about a particular point around pressure. I want to show it to you guys. I can show videos on here, right? Through the screen sharing.
Yep, absolutely. Just got
So
to make
these
sure
are
you put
really
the
short
audio.
clips. They're really short clips. I don't know how, you're right. I don't even know how to do that. So I'm going to try my best. You guys are going to be patient with me. Okay. So that's what's going to happen. You're going to have to just be patient with me, guys. Okay. 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 I almost got this, y'all. I appreciate y'all's patience with me on this because I don't know shit. So what's funny is I'm gonna kind of give you a superficial conversation, at least show you how superficial people see relationship conversations. So I found that whole thing to be really fascinating. How people basically saw relationships. One of the things I noticed is people see relationships as very transactional or purely transactional.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting in this. But let's watch this if you guys can. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it was.
Is this Jeezy's wife or somebody's wife?
I don't know who these people are, to be honest with you. No clue. People told me, but I don't remember what they said. Can you guys hear it?
No.
Okay. I might not be able to do that because I don't even know how to do anything.
So when you share in a video, there's a little box at the thing where it says to share, and you'll see a little box in there that says audio.
Oh. Okay. So I don't see where it says audio. Where does it say audio?
I can't see. It's hard to. Okay, look. So when you click share screen, right?
Yeah. Well, let me stop sharing the screen.
It's gonna say it's gonna say entire screen, application window, Chrome tab. If you look in the bottom left corner, it says share audio.
Okay. Well, I had to close out that thing. So hold on. So you said go to share screen.
Share screen. And you see where it says your entire screen, application window.
Oh, boom. Yeah. I see it. Okay. Okay, guys. Promise you I won't be this terrible. All right. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
If sex is gonna, a lot of women do complain. Oh, my husband's always on me.
Barely hear it.
You can't hear it?
If sex is gonna be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time, just wanting you, why do you push monogamy on men?
Well, who's to say I pushed anything on anybody? Like,
well, we know that you pushed monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. I forced you to get married to me.
Time out. A lot of women do complain.
Okay, so that was one clip.
Always on me.
Start it over.
Okay.
If sex is gonna be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time, just wanting you, why do you push monogamy on men?
Well, who's to say I pushed anything on anybody? Like,
well, we know that you pushed monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. I forced you to get married to me.
Time out. A lot of women do complain.
Okay, so that's the first clip.
Okay.
It's actually just a series of short clips. So here's the second one. I don't know what happened. Freeze. Oh, no, there it goes.
You said to me you never pressured me to get married. In 2007, we were living together, right? You said you no longer wanted to live with me and shack up with me because you wanted to be my wife, not my girlfriend.
Right, because I wanted to know where
that
the relationship
don't sound like
is going.
Pressure to you?
It sounds like me voicing where I see my life going. It sounds like me saying this is what I would like. You can decide to meet me there. If not, we can reevaluate what exactly we're doing.
Okay. Additionally,
would I call it pressure per se? Not necessarily pressure.
You said to me you never pressured.
Okay. So, do you guys hear that?
Yeah.
I have to summarize it. So essentially, he's saying, and the other clips basically go into it as well. He's saying that women pressure men into getting married. One, he said that why do women push monogamy or getting married if you can't handle a man wanting to have sex with you all the time while you're married. So one of the things you hear men complain about is women not feeling like that. Now, it is a good question. And what's funny is she actually answered the question. And according to what they said later in the other videos I saw, she had answered it multiple times, even while they were married. But he didn't understand what she's saying. And I'm going to get into that.
What was her answer to why she didn't want to have sex?
Because she said in the beginning, when you're in your 20s, yeah, we were having sex all the time. And then things happen. You have kids, you have mortgages, you got this, you got that. And so it's really difficult sometimes you have to want to be able to have sex. Your sex drive gets lower from all that stress, right? Which is literally what happens. So women, a lot of times we don't understand a lot of
facts. That's just basic.
Yeah. Right. And you lose, in fact, you a lot of times you lose your ability to have sex because your body goes into fight or flight mode or freeze mode. So, or appease mode. So what's happening is you're in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, your sex drive is pretty much down. And your brain does that for a reason because it's not a time to procreate, right?
So basically what he failed to do is be able to communicate with his wife when they were married, where they stood and what they need to work on to get into a space where they could have the thing. That's where he fucked up, and now he's on TV saying goofy shit.
See, but this is the thing. You are a man who has clearly done a lot of soul searching and your own healing, your own growth in your own life. I can sense a person who has not when they say shit like that. Not you, but what stuff he was saying without the context. Because he's saying you don't want to have sex with me all the time. He ignored the fact that she said, I'm stressed. As you get older, you get stressed out. We have this, we have that. And instead of him during the marriage say, okay, let me see how I can connect with her and empathize and figure out what's going on, why her sex drive is low. The woman, think about it. If your partner doesn't want to fuck you, there's a reason.
So look, actually had that happen in real life one time. So this girl that I was dating, we was dating for a while, like almost 2.5, 3 years or something like that. And she started dealing with depression. Now, at the time, I didn't understand how all of those things connected. And the thing about it was, there was my man Hansi. What's cracking, man?
Thank you, Hansi.
Yeah, thank you for the donation. I can't even talk. And one of the things that I noticed is that once I started paying attention, I started opening my mouth and asking the question like, okay, what is going on? Now, whatever was going on had nothing to do with me. We didn't even live together. There was a lot of external shit going on in her life. So it started making sense. But now one of the things that I noticed with dudes like him is they have not matured. First of all, they should have probably never been married because he wasn't mature enough to handle all the responsibilities that come with a marriage. And I say that to say this. I have my best friend, you know what I'm saying? His wife deals with addiction and they've been married for 20 something years. And I told him because she relapsed in 2007 and he didn't leave her. They actually lost their house. They lost everything. And he found out when he was on vacation in Memphis visiting family he ain't seen in 20 years. Everything got better. They was flourishing, bought a home, all these kind of things. She relapsed again this past spring. And so me and him was chopping it up. We talking about this. And I was just like, in my mind, I was like, first time is one thing. Second time, but then he broke it down. Now, this is a dude that's a street nigga. This is a straight up street dude. We done did dirt. And he was like, man, that's my wife. And when he said that, it all made sense. You know what I'm saying? He told me the trials and tribulations and things that they going through. With him sticking with his wife, that was the most important thing because regardless of all the stuff that he wanted to do, his own, he could have easily left, got a divorce and wouldn't have had a problem. You know what I'm saying? He said, nah, that's my wife. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, that makes sense. You ain't even got to say no more. And I'm never negative about it because that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, man, you sure you want to do this again? He said, yeah, it's my wife. And left it at that. Now, he told me some crazy stuff that's been going on. But at the end of the day, he was understanding enough that he knew that it wasn't about him. It's about them.
Right.
That dude in that video, he don't understand shit except for what he got going on, his own selfish wants. I mean, you selfish enough to even have your ex-wife on TV talking about this.
Well, this is the thing. The more you hear him talk in these clips, the more oblivious he clearly is. Like, because even the marriage conversation, and I want to talk about that too. This conversation around pressure to get married.
Yeah.
So my take around that is pretty much, I'll just show you my tweet, so that'll be easier than me trying to. So I'm trying to repeat it, but. Yeah, so for me, it was like we're not even talking about the real thing underneath what his real problem is. And he thinks it's her. He thinks it's the lack of sex. He thinks he was pressured. He thinks it's all this other stuff, but it's not that. So this is what I said on Twitter. I said, you guys see that? Yeah. I said, feeling pressured may not mean the other person is doing the pressuring. And the reason why I said that is this, because she said, I just stated to you where I was at and what I wanted. There's nothing wrong. In fact, you're supposed to share with your partner what you want and and ask where do we want to take this? You have to ask those questions. Because even if he does want to get married, he might have a whole different view of what that looks like.
Right.
Right. So these are conversations you have to have. So all she did, and notice he did not disagree that was what she did. He didn't say, no, that's not what you did. You said this, and this. That's not what happened.
He just didn't get what he wanted.
He just didn't get what he wanted. What he wanted was to continue what he was doing because it was good and it worked for him at the time. She's saying, I'm looking at building my future. Just he
was willing to sacrifice his wife and his marriage for his own personal wants.
So, and I'm gonna get to my next sentence. So he says, out of all shit he said, I responded, fear of loneliness pressured him after she said what she wanted.
Yeah.
So he's saying the pressure came from her. No, the pressure was from within himself. That's where the pressure was. Night Eye Sound Info. Appreciate you for joining us today. So we have to realize that everything comes from inside of us. It's how we view things. It's how we feel things. And a lot of that was, developed as we were growing older, in our childhood. So from our babe, from infancy, in fact, in the womb. In utero, right? So he had this strong fear of loneliness, so much so that he didn't get what he wanted. He didn't even say what he wanted.
Right.
And so you can't be mad at someone else because they spoke what they wanted and you didn't stay true to yourself. So so I go on to say, he didn't want to lose her. I'm sorry, fear of my person get what he wanted. He didn't want to lose her, but he wasn't ready to commit. So instead of being true to himself and how he felt, he let fear drive his decision. We don't realize how much loneliness and that fear of loneliness drives unhealthy relationship decisions because we don't know that's what it is.
Yeah, I know somebody that got married and did the same thing.
Because we think fear of loneliness means you don't like being at home by yourself alone.
No.
Well, no, I have plenty of friends. What do you mean? No, fear of loneliness means that you have this longing to stay connected romantically with someone. Because that's who your support is. That's what relationships are for.
Yeah.
Right?
And whatever it is that they've been providing, you can't provide that for yourself. Whatever they've been providing, whether it's sexual or financial or emotional, whatever it is, you feel like you can't get that anywhere else. When what you should have did was you should have told her, I don't think I want to do this. I know somebody that did that. They got married and the dude that she got married to is a known dirtbag. So 2 years into the marriage, what did you think he did? He was cheating. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The marriage was over. Okay. Not only did he cheat, this dude's got some mental problems. He was going around telling all of her personal business to people in the community that didn't need to know certain pertinent information about her own abuse that happened when she was a kid.
Oh, that is foul.
Yeah.
That is foul.
And he did it for absolutely no reason. He did it for no reason. She has a stepdad and he told her real dad never knew anything about it. And then she's in her 30s. So her real dad is pissed now. And this dude did all of this. Now, fast forward a year or two later, he's in her DMs, he's sending her text messages, all this kind of stuff. And the thing about it was, I wasn't mad at her because I told her he was a piece of garbage. You know what I'm saying? I told her, I say, man, player to player, I got to tell you the straight up truth. I mean, I know you're my friend, not him. So I don't know him. I said, but if I was you, I wouldn't do it. She chose to do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So eventually she had to deal with the consequences and the repercussions of marrying somebody she had no business being married to. And what happened was she was under this impression that she was running out of time.
Yes.
And that's why she was pressuring him to get married. She felt like she was running out of time. She was 35 and she felt like she was running out of time. That's not the first time I've ever heard that before. I've been in a relationship like that before where a girl wanted to get married and have a kid. And I was like, I've only known you for 9 months. You know what I'm saying? That's how my mind works. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about?
Right.
And then she started hitting me with this whole running out of time, biological clock stuff. And I'm like, well, look, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. And I understand that as a woman, that fear. So I have it. Yeah. You know, I'm in my 30s. I don't know what's going to happen. I've been single for 6.5 years. The last guy I was talking to ghosted me. So and out of the blue, I don't know shit, you know? So I don't know what's going to happen in my life. But one thing I know, but one thing I know is that when you're healing, you have healed from certain things, you don't make rash decisions based off of those feelings of loneliness and longing and grief or whatever. Right. So I'm not out here like, okay, I got to go sleep with somebody just to get over them.
No,
I'm not doing that because I'm in a healthy space. I found other ways to cope. I found other ways to address the pain. I call my friends, hang out with my friends, work. I've been working my ass off. You know, you guys have been seeing a lot of me on social media as far as not just seeing me type. Y'all seen videos and pictures if you follow me on all those platforms. That shit's work. I don't care what nobody say. It's just hard.
It is work. This is work.
It's real work. And it's work. And you know, I focused on that, and so I created something beautiful out of that pain. I've got so much work done this week out of that pain versus doing something unhealthy. So what happens is we don't realize that loneliness and that longingness is really something that we developed in our childhood because we really didn't get the type of love we needed from our parents. So if you go and listen to watch his videos, he has a clear issue with intimacy and connection.
Yeah, and see, the thing about it is, like, a lot of times, a lot of dudes don't understand that when the intimacy is dead, the relationship is pretty much dead.
Yeah.
If you're in a relationship with a girl and then all of a sudden she talking about how she don't want to have sex, it's a wrap.
Well, this is the thing. If she loses her attraction to you and she's not sick or some shit, the relationship's probably over.
Well, I've heard of where people don't lose attraction; they just don't want to have sex no more.
No, I'm talking about emotionally or romantically attracted.
Oh, yeah. So
they might be physically attracted.
They might still be attracted to you. They might still love you, but don't want to have sex. Like that is, you know, when I first heard about that, I thought that was strange. But as I got older,
who this hoe and who this hoe ass bitch in our fucking chat?
Who? What?
Look at this shit.
Where?
Who called? I don't know. John Thompson.
Oh, John Thompson. That nigga is the same motherfucker that got mad last time when I was talking about ADOS. He's a bitch. Get your bitch ass up out of here. You can block him if you want.
I don't know how to do that. Do it.
Just go up to his name and go to the right where the three dots and block him.
Yeah, you got to get out of here.
I don't give a fuck about nothing he talking about. Nigga, you can never be me. You can never be on my level, and I'll beat your ass in real life. Shut the fuck up.
Ain't nobody a simp. You know, shut the fuck up.
I'm a grown-ass man.
You're not going to come on our shit and disrespect people.
First of all, I'm a grown-ass man. I handle business like a grown-ass man, and I'll beat your ass. So how about that?
Yeah. Oh, ass. Okay.
Drop the address. I'll beat your ass, nigga. Don't ever come in here running your fucking mouth. Get out of here. He's already been blocked before. He just made another profile with his name, running his mouth again. I'll beat your ass. Shut up.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what that was about. But yeah, I forgot. I don't know what point you were at. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, when you're going through stuff like that in a relationship, first of all, you have to put your ego as a man. You have to put your ego to the side, because if you're in a committed relationship, let alone married, if you're in a committed relationship and you married and you know your wife is going through these things, then it's your job as a husband to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? So even if that means you guys go to marriage counseling, even if that means you take some of the weight off your wife, because I don't know what they do for a living, but they look like they do something important. Like they got some money, they got businesses.
Right.
They look like they got going on. So
they look good. They look too healthy to be broke.
Yeah. They don't look broke. So that means they got a whole lot of stuff going on, which means they got a lot of pressure and a lot of stress going on. So I don't know where they stand as far as in their relationship, as far as like
they're divorced now.
Well, yeah. So shouldering the responsibilities that they had to deal with as a marriage. I mean, but that's that kind of stuff. That's part of the game. I mean, if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody, I mean, shit. My grandparents was married for 47 years. Man, I heard some of the craziest stories about my grandfather doing crazy shit. You know, when my grandparents moved here from New Orleans, the funny thing about it was they lived up here in this neighborhood called Vanport, and Vanport is a famous neighborhood for when black people came here to work for the war effort in the 1940s during World War II. So but they didn't leave, they stayed. My grandparents stayed. You know what I'm saying? My mom, she comes from somewhere. So this is my dad's family, and my grandparents bought a house. There was a house that my grandparents bought, and my grandfather did not want to move into that house. He refused. He didn't want to move in that house so bad. He stayed at his parents' house. Now, eventually, he came, but there was a whole lot. He was scared of that commitment because, you know, when you married is one thing, but then you're going to buy a house. Now you really invested.
Right.
And he was afraid of that. He was young. He was like 26 years old. So he was young. He was scared. He was all these things going through his mind. Now, luckily for him, he had people in his corner to, you sure you want to go through this on here, that thing?
Yeah, I was trying to find a particular response that.
But he had people in his corner that actually marched him through the right things to do as a man. But there's a lot of brothers out here that don't have anybody that's showing them like, hey, bro, you in this situation as a husband, you got to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it's got to be. Mario's in the building. What's up? What's up, homie? Was that Mario or was that you?
That was me.
Oh, how did you do that?
Oh, that's his. Y'all got his picture.
Oh, that's his. I thought Mario popped in. But
no, I wish I didn't link.
And I'll tell you right now, as a grown man, it is difficult to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult to deal with other people's stuff going on. And for some brothers, that keeps brothers out of being in a committed relationships. They'd rather just be a player and just have women whenever they want them, because it's a lot to bear when you're dealing with somebody that's going through some stuff. So
right.
But I can tell by that dude, I can tell that he's just immature. He's just childish.
He seems very immature. He lacks the ability to be intimate. He doesn't know how to connect with his partner, because he would know. Because this is what I tell guys all the time, and that's what, speaking for myself, but I've also heard this from many other women, which is sometimes you just want to feel validated,
right? Even
if this, I'm stressed out, I've been working a lot, these things are happening. Just if you stop and say, honey, I just want to let you know that I see how hard you're working, and I got you. What can I do to help? Right. I can take off a little more time from work. I can step up on the weekends, whatever it is. If you just do that, how much you want to bet the pussy will be waterworks?
Well, because what happens is these dudes, a lot of dudes, I ain't gonna say these dudes, but a lot of dudes, because I've been this dude before. A lot of dudes, like when you start getting into the working world after college and all that kind of stuff, at one point in time, you was probably getting coochie every day. You know what I'm saying? But now both of y'all got jobs. Both of y'all got stressful jobs, because, you know, when you get out of college, you want a job making good money. So your first job, you ain't really making nothing. You got a whole lot of free time, because, you know, when you ain't making no money, you don't feel like you got to work hard.
You don't take the work. You don't take the work home, because that's not the kind of position you have.
You ain't making no money. But then when you start making 60 and 70 and 80 grand, now you feeling that stress. And it's like the only free time you do have is on the weekend, which is really only Saturday, because Friday night you're tired. Saturday, you get a little bit of free time. Sunday, you got to get ready for Monday. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really have a lot of time. And I've been through that. And I'll tell you in a minute, I'm one of them dudes that, full disclosure, I ain't gonna have no problems with my problems later in life. Okay. If you know what I mean. I ain't never had those problems. So sometimes I need to get my issue. And it got to the point to where I wasn't getting my issue. You know what I'm saying? And we had to have a conversation about that. That's when I started seeing all the, you know, the stuff that was going on. But also, my situation is a little bit different, because the person I was dealing with was real narcissistic. So they felt like they can play keep away with the coochie. And I was like, oh, no, you're out of here. We're not going to play.
Hey, now, that's different. Now, if someone's being manipulative, that's a whole, and people do that. It's not always just sex. People do it all the time, and they'll highlight the sex thing, but they do it when it's like, I'm not going to cook breakfast for you. You've been cooking breakfast for this motherfucker for how many years? And all of a sudden now you mad, or how many months, whatever it is. Or I'm going to now withhold my affection, or I'm not going to, do. So people do that manipulative shit. That's a whole different thing.
Right.
It's one thing when you have a partner who is going through something, and it might not even have anything to do with you. It might even have to do with the kids. Maybe it's just something personal. if you connect with them and show them that you care, that consistency turns them on.
Yeah.
It makes them want you. And I'm telling you, with women, sometimes if we just feel like you understand, you appreciate what we do for the household, for whatever, if you just appreciate it. Like I used to wake up, I used to have to get up at like 3:00 in the morning for one of my first radio jobs. And by the way, anybody wants to work in media now, y'all got it easy. Y'all just open up your laptop. Back in the day, you had to start from the bottom in the media track. Right. And I say bottom is 3:00 in the morning for free. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I was interning at radio station at 3:00 in the morning. Later I became producer. But then I would, after work, my show would end. I'll be able to get home between like 7 and 8. I got home. I would make him breakfast before he went to work. He wouldn't even be up yet. I'd make his breakfast. Then he'd wake up. We eat breakfast together. Sometimes I wouldn't have time to eat breakfast. I just have to rush out and go to my next job. So I would go to my next job. So every day I was going to work at 3:00 in the morning, coming home, making breakfast for this nigga, then taking my ass to my next job.
Right.
Never once did I get a thank you.
Yeah, see, and that's those are the little things.
Little things.
The little things.
It doesn't cost any money. Women, all that shit. But women, you gotta buy them diamonds to get their nails done. You don't gotta get my nails done. I can take care of my fucking nails. I just want to thank you. I just want to feel like you appreciate me. I want a gift that says, yo, I noticed that you've been working hard and you still made my breakfast. You know, I'm gonna go above and beyond for you. But see, he was a narcissist. And the thing about narcissists is they are good. They think they're owed it. They're entitled to that type of treatment. I didn't know I was with a narcissist, right? I didn't know I was a codependent, meaning that I'm the person that's feeding his addiction to himself.
Oh, absolutely.
So I would consistently try to go above and beyond for his affection, just for a thank you for something, and get nothing. In fact, it was like, again, it was expected. And I don't think we realize how much those little things of appreciation. I always go out of my way to make sure that I appreciate the people that I'm around, my family, my friends, my relationships. I have to let them know that I appreciate them as much as I can.
Right.
Because when you do things like that, they appreciate you just as much.
Absolutely.
And when you become connected. And that connection is what drives the healthy relationship. That's what drives when I need anything. I know I can call anybody right now. I got people I can call literally right now for anything I need. If I'm like, it's an emergency, I need this. Don't worry about it. I got you.
Right.
But you only get that. And now I can say that. How many times do you see people on like Twitter and stuff like that? I ain't got no friends. I only got 3 friends. I don't trust women. I don't got no female friends. I got plenty of female. I got male and female friends.
You know, these scenarios do not exist for these people on Twitter because they're so egotistical, narcissistic, and such energy vampires. Nobody wants to give them the time of day. Nobody wants to give them the energy or the time. And possibly what has happened to these people is in real life, people don't want to be bothered with them anymore. They've been through this in real life and they don't want to be bothered. Beautiful women on Twitter. You see the stuff they be saying, you be like, yeah, you ain't got no dude. Ain't nobody trying to be bothered with you. And you can see the women that are in relationships because not all of them, but a lot of them are level-headed. The men that are on Twitter that are in relationships, they're level-headed. You know what I'm saying? Because they know that in order to make a relationship work, it can't be 70-30. It's got to be 50-50. So and you have to, and you can't fake it. You can't be on Twitter saying some crazy shit, but then have a 50-50 relationship at home because your significant other is probably going to look at you like, why are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? I've seen that before.
I think that troll came back. It must be iSound Info because I think we're getting fucked with. I think this is a joke because who was it? I think it was 2008. B. Scott, I think, said as soon as iSound Info leaves, the trolls come, and that's exactly what happened. And now this troll loves me but thinks you're a simp.
Block him.
I know I was gonna block him, but I just wanted you to see it first.
Block him. I can't even see the chat. I don't care. I'm good.
Oh, I wanted you to see it. Okay.
Just block him.
Yeah, I have to block you. You can't like one of us and not the other. We're a package deal. I wanted you to see it first. I thought you were looking at the chat. I was waiting for you to say something.
No, it's hard to keep up with the chat with when I'm not the host, it's just weird.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's just kind of weird. This nigga keep using the same last name. You fucking clown.
I mean, I think but anyway, yeah. Sorry. I was
You gotta remember, I don't care what anybody says on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'll beat your ass, so it don't matter. I'll put that on the hood. I'll beat your ass. I don't care.
Man, I was really hoping I could find this one response to my tweet. I got into a whole discussion. He might have deleted it because I kind of checked them.
Who, me?
No,
you deleted it?
No, I think because there was a guy who retweeted one of that tweet I just read to you guys earlier that I wrote, and I can't find his response because I wanted to kind of bring it up because he wasn't the only one that said it. But basically, they were trying to make it out to be like a gender war discussion.
It's not a gender war discussion.
It was nothing I said was gendered, and if you notice what I said, it was nothing I said was gendered. But they tried to make it out like, oh, if this is a man, you'd be calling all types of controlling. I said, no, honey, that's not me. I'm one of the few people who don't jump to that dumb shit. I'm not involved in the gender war conversation. That's not me. That's not what I do. What I do is talk about human behavior.
Right.
So whether you're male or female, it might just look differently because our genders do things differently, and we, in the world. But at the same time, they're all the same basic human needs because we literally all have the exact same.
If you're a person, this is how I look at it. If you're the person that's going to turn this into a gender war, that's how I know you ain't been in no relationship and ain't been close to no relationship,
or haven't been in a healthy one.
Well, that's a whole nother. And I said that
people be in relationships. They just all kinds of ignorant people be in relationships.
I said that earlier today. I was like, man, there's people on here that have never had the resemblance of a healthy relationship, and not in their own personal lives, as far as like there's them and their significant other, but also their parents, their grandparents, their uncles and aunts. If you come from a family full of crackheads, ain't none of them relationships gonna be healthy. You know what I'm saying? So even when they go to school. You know what I'm saying? If you get involved in gang violence, those ain't healthy relationships. So even your relationships with your friends ain't healthy because they putting your life on the line. You putting their life on the line. Like, damn, you just living in a world of trauma forever.
You know what show I was just watching? Girlfriends. I've been watching Girlfriend on Netflix.
Oh yeah, the old show. Yeah.
Yeah, and was in now that I'm older, I actually understand that Joan Tony relationship. Yeah. Because basically one was a narcissist and the other was a codependent. Yeah. The entire time you're watching this play out, one friend is giving, going above and beyond, having to prove that they're the friend, versus the other one who takes, and rarely gives. Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is what you just said. I'm just kind of piggybacking off that point. It also affects your friendships. Mm-hmm. It affects how you really interact with anybody. But I really wanted to find this thing about whether they're making it gendered, but I can't find it, so I'm gonna let it go. Because I just felt like, why do we have to make everything about gender? Why is it never about human behavior and healing?
Because they don't.
Why do we never focus on connection?
That's a lot to understand. You have to actually have healed.
Fair point.
You have to actually understand human behavior in order to be able to deal with it, because if you don't understand human behavior, you're going to make everything about you.
Yes.
You're going to make everything, you're going to internal, and that's what they do on that website or that app.
What's funny is they won't make the things that are about them, they won't make about them. The things that have nothing to do with them, they'll somehow project and internalize all that shit.
Yeah, they never tell their story. They just respond to everybody else's story as if they're an outsider looking in. And it's always the same arguments over and over and over. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're telling on yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to keep having the same argument about everything. It could be, that's why when that that Tyler Perry clip popped up today about that dude, and it looked like he was about to ask that chick to marry him. And he going to say something like, will you be my best friend or something? He said, I was like,
wow.
This turned into an argument on Twitter.
I mean, it seemed like it was a joke, no?
No, it was real. It was a movie.
Oh,
it was some Tyler Perry movie. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to turn into an argument on Twitter. It's going to be about gender because, it ain't even going to be about gender. It's going to be about black men because this dude, they're going to feel like this dude played her. And it's just a lot of times, man, in our community and probably just human beings, period. We just don't know how to choose the right people, and we don't know when to say, you know what, I probably don't need to be in a relationship right now. I probably need to sit my ass at home and heal, and maybe need to go see a therapist, you know, and even if I can't afford a therapist, maybe I could talk to somebody. We don't ever do that. We don't process anything. Everything is like microwave macaroni and cheese. We just want the next thing. Okay, that relationship was toxic. I got a kid now. He's told me he don't want to be bothered. Let's jump to the next relationship. Really? That's not a good idea. That's not safe for you. It's not safe for your child. Not safe for that other person.
I want to show you guys one of my handouts that I used to teach with. And I was trying to find a way to open it, but I think I got it. Okay, so let's start. Because I think what happens is when I talk about what human needs are, understanding human behavior, everything we do is driven by a need.
Right.
Anytime there's any behavior, when I teach my classes, I often talk about that. Behavior is expressing something. Behavior is the communication. It's telling you that there's a need underneath that's driving this. And I want to show you this handout that I use a lot because I think when we talk about basic human needs, they think, oh, this person has their needs met. I make sure they eat every day. I go to work every day. I pay all the bills, whatever it is. Parents, spouses say shit like that, right? Well, guess what? There's more than just those basic needs. These are literally human needs. Biological, your brain needs these to be alive, to stay alive. Now, most things we know sustenance and health and all that shit, right? But we don't think about things like honesty.
Right.
Consideration is a biological need. Order, structure, familiarity, biological need.
Yeah, because when you see people that don't have it, you see how their life ends up.
Right. Your brain has to be able to, so this is all your brain responding to things, right? So your brain needs order in order to make sense so it can navigate various spaces. Mm-hmm. To keep itself safe. Your brain's entire job is to keep you alive. That's the entire purpose of your brain. Acceptance is a biological human need. So people say, I don't care about nobody, blah, blah, blah. What they're telling us that they have a wall up and all they want is to be accepted and loved, but they're afraid.
Right.
Because we all, and guess what? Also, I teach in my parenting class. This acceptance is the number one need for adolescents.
Right.
That's why when your teenager wants to hang out at the mall and chaperoned or sneaks out of the house because they want to hang out with their friends or they stay on their phone all night talking or whatever, it's because they have a literal need for acceptance into their tribe.
And being accepted into your family, that's not acceptance. They can be accepted within the family. That's nothing, but they need people they identify with. I got a 16-year-old. There's absolutely nothing I can tell my daughter about me being a 16-year-old because that was 23 fucking years ago. Right. It was an entirely different situation, but the acceptance and the need for it was the same.
Yeah, because it's a biological need. And I want to clarify something that you said because I think people are going to misunderstand it. You're not saying that you don't need acceptance in your family. He's saying that once you have the acceptance in your family, you still need the acceptance from the outside.
Absolutely.
Because I knew what you meant, but I wanted to make sure I clarified that because the way you said it could be, the way it was worded, it could be confusing.
Yeah, because your family, it almost seems like it's almost like second nature that your family's going to be there for you. Not everybody doesn't have that, but everybody expects their family to be there. When you're a kid, you're looking for your mom. You're looking for your dad. You're looking for the people that are going to nourish you, feed you, clothe you, house you, love you. But when you become 13, 14, 15, 16, that's already there. Okay, so where can I find the people that think like me, listen to what I listen to, eat what I eat, all that,
Well, I will say this. On the acceptance thing from within the family, a lot of families don't have that. Think about how many, their child comes out, they're not accepted. Their child doesn't want to follow in their footsteps, doesn't want to play a sport, doesn't, whatever it is. You have all types of reasons why you'll see parents that don't accept it, or at least the child doesn't feel accepted. That's the other thing we have to remember. Sometimes it's not about what we think their need is or what we think they're feeling. It's about what they feel.
Exactly.
So if I can't say, well, what do you mean you need acknowledgement? I acknowledge you all the time, but clearly the person's not receiving it.
Right.
Not that you're not doing it. Maybe the way you're doing it isn't computing for that person, because that's not how they understand understand acknowledgement. Right. You say, no, I did acknowledge you. Didn't I write your name over here? But you didn't announce it over here. You see what I'm saying?
That's where the lack of communication comes in.
Right.
So when you communicate with your kids or with your relatives or whatever, and you understand where they're coming from, you guys have an understanding that will never get in the way. Now, if you're a person that's one of those, and I've seen this before, where the parent wants their kid to be what they want them to be. It's something in Asian families. I forgot what it's called. It's like this fear of failure, but it's a term for it in Asian families. And I was watching this lady on that show. Well, it's not a show, but on that YouTube channel, Soft White Underbelly. It was an Asian lady. I think she was Korean, and she was born in Korea and moved here in the 80s. And her parents put so much pressure on her to succeed, and all she wanted to do was just hang out with her friends. But that what ended up happening was the pressure led her to living on Skid Row, smoking crack.
Wow.
Smart lady. When you did the interviewer, you could tell the lady was intelligent. You know what I'm saying? But that need for acceptance, it didn't happen at home, because acceptance to her family was graduate from college as an engineer or whatever it is that they wanted her to do. When really she didn't see anything wrong with that, but she also felt like I should be able to be a regular teenager too. And it just didn't work out for her, and she's in bad shape. But you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. You have to and that's the thing. I think sometimes parents don't realize that need is going to be there. You're not going to get rid of the need, and children will do whatever they have to do to get that need met.
Right.
That's just what we're all basically wired that way. But when you're a child, you have way less impulse control.
Right.
So you will do whatever it takes to get that need met. A lot of times parents feel like they have to stop children from doing certain things in a certain way for their safety, but either it's not communicated well, or the way that they're doing it is communicating something way different than what they think, right? So for example, what you think you're saying, I love you so much, I want you to be safe, that's why I don't want you out after midnight. I really want to make sure you're okay. There's nothing positive going on after midnight in our neighborhood, and I really want you home because I just love you that much.
Right.
But that's not what you said.
Right.
What you said was, you better bring your ass back home.
Exactly.
And then guess what? Your child doesn't hear my mother loves me or my father loves me, and they want the best for me, and they want to keep me safe, and I don't want my mother to worry. What they hear is my mama doesn't want me to have fun. She doesn't care about me or my needs, because you dismissed
10-year-old brain thinks.
Because you dismiss their need.
Right.
And this isn't just children. This is with anyone. This is literally with anyone. Another thing, affection is a human need. People who say they don't need anybody, you do. Stop lying. All humans need, in fact, you literally die without affection. You lose your mind, or you become depressed, or you become traumatized. Passion, mystery, innovation. You have to want to be creative. That's a need to create. Humans are creators. That's a literal need. Now, why I'm pointing all this out is this is what happens when we have behaviors, when certain things happen. When our needs go unmet, we begin to engage in behaviors to try to get that need met. Now, what happens is, are we doing it in a way that's healthy and safe?
Well, most of the time we don't.
Look at the times you're angry. And I always just want to exercise, and I really want everybody to do this. So anybody who's listening, watching, I really want you guys to do this. Think about a time, maybe the most embarrassing time, that you got so angry that you did something you wish you hadn't done. Think about it. Think about something that pissed you off so mad, that got you so mad, that pissed you off so bad that you felt like you were in a trance, and you woke out of that trance, and you were like, what the fuck did I do?
Well, for me, I walked out of the county jail.
You got mad and walked out? What do you mean?
Well, I ended up in there, and that's the last time I walked out of the county jail.
Oh, well, there we go. So you bet you regret having done that thing, right?
Exactly.
So we all have that thing. Now, I want you guys to take that thing and that moment and ask yourself, and look at this list. Look at the list up there. What need was going unmet? What need were you trying to get met when you got that angry? What were you trying to achieve? A lot of times in my classes, people say honesty. Oh, I wanted them to stop lying to me, and they went into a fit of rage. You didn't even know honesty was a biological human need.
Right. There was a lady. Right? There was a lady a couple days ago. I don't know what city it was, but she set this dude's house on fire and killed his mom and his two nephews because she felt like he was cheating on her. She didn't know for sure if he was or if he wasn't, but she got so emotional behind it. She ended up setting his mama's house on fire and killing her, and then went on social media and said she was going to do it, sent text messages and everything. But then when you seen her in court, she crying and all that kind of stuff. And her excuse was because he was cheating on me.
So she clearly had a need for affection it was going unmet, right?
Yeah. Yes.
A need for security that went unmet. Whatever for her marriage was, for a relationship was for her, whatever provided for her, what needs that relationship met, it is now under threat.
Right.
Or it is gone. Right? So now that my needs are under threat, I have to survive. Now what happens is we have people who aren't mentally stable. Their brains don't operate like ours do, and their brains cannot stop them. Like we can sometimes stop ourselves,
right?
And go, or it only goes so far where we might beat somebody up, but we're not gonna kill them, right? Now I saw Taylor Ja, love your name, Taylor. You said Blacks don't do their own research, therefore they must use white research to attempt to explain the Black experience. Could you speak about the need for Blacks to do their own research? Originality, #originality. Okay, so yes, and I disagree though that there are plenty of Black people who are doing research. There are plenty of Black psychologists. Dr. Joy DeGruy is one of them. Dr. Amos Wilson has a ton of books. These are both psychologists. Someone just sent me a picture of a book for it's called African Consciousness and Psychology or something. Like there's a lot of resources out there, but I do get your overall point. We do need to be doing our own research. The problem is a lot of them are confined in these academies, these white academies. So it's important. I'm a researcher. I haven't gone to a grad school. Fuck grad school. I don't care about that shit. But fuck it. I don't care about that shit. So no regrets there. I don't really fuck with school like that, but I do my own research all the time. I have books. Let's see if I have any over here.
I was going to say,
put them away.
Breaks all this down.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I think I have it. Oh, it's behind here. So this is one of my books that I have. I might have showed it on here before. So this is a book by Dr. Juliet E.K. Walker. She's a Black historian. She talks a lot about economics as well and Black economic history. She has another book here, and this is about psychology, but I'm talking about just research in general because I'm a strong believer that a lot of Black academia, and not just Black academia. Let's even talk about just our public schools, all that shit. We don't learn anything. We don't even learn how to research really, and research is really just asking questions and looking for the answer. You don't need an advanced degree to do that shit.
You really don't.
So. Here's another book Juliet E.K. Walker wrote. It's called The History of Black Businesses in America. And these are things that have been documented and researched and so forth and so on. I think is important information that we need to know as Black people, in addition to psychology, because it gives us an idea of who we are, gives a sense of how to, because that's the other thing. I don't think we realize who the fuck we are. And a big problem, because we don't know who we are, we have what I call historical trauma. Now, historical trauma has another meaning, basically has kind of more like a collective trauma, like slavery, we consider the historical trauma. But when I'm talking about historical trauma, I mean the lack of not knowing who you are. Not knowing who you are is an actual trauma response and a trauma in itself. So the fact that we have so much of our history erased from us is traumatic. We don't realize how much it affects us because we don't realize how much we need an identity because we've kind of adapted this Eurocentric one and we think it's us.
Exactly.
I watch you niggas get nostalgic. Oh, back in the day when women used to, take care of their men. Men go out into the, workforce and come home. That was never a Black family reality.
No.
When Black women have been working since slavery. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, this overly nostalgic perspective of who we are is a problem. You guys are being nostalgic over white America's history, and half of that shit's a lie. So I'm with you. We do have to do our own research. I'm 100% in agreement of that. Let's see. Some of us do our own research, but the ones that become popularized, get attention from the mainstream media and whatnot, can be pretty bad. Absolutely. But guess what? Anybody that's watching this stream or on this stream, one thing we know is the mainstream media ain't never been in our favor. So I would never have an expectation of them to cover the shit that we need. This is why we need our own spaces. This is why those kind of things are important. So we can share this information. This is why I don't like people like Brittany Cooper and Ta-Nehisi Coates and all the other people, because what they're doing is they have all this research, but they ain't doing it to help Black people. They too busy begging white people for attention and begging them for shit. Because we're taking resources that we have and using it to beg white people for shit instead of teaching our own community. Like, I teach trauma-informed care. My focus is my Black people. We need this shit. You know what's crazy? We don't even know we need this shit. That's the crazy part.
How would you know you needed it?
Right. We don't even know we need this shit because no one's telling you.
Right.
No one's explaining to you why you need it, why this is important, why you need to heal. How do you heal?
Why Brittany Cooper and that other big nose girl can flourish. That's the reason why Jessica Krug could flourish. Because in our community, it's out of sight, out of mind to figure out who you are. You can choose who you want to be every day on social media.
True.
And whether it's a lie or the truth, you can be whoever you want to be on social media. And that's good enough for us. I have this joke, and T always, T will tell you, I used to say all the time, if you lined up a Twitter account you can give somebody that got 100,000 followers or gold bars, Negroes will choose the Twitter account.
Okay.
Because attention is worth more than gold bars.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at this chat room, Kenny. I'm looking at this chat room. I'm with Kenny on this one. This is where if I were a blue check, I get on Twitter and project about how I am mad that Vita attacked educated people. He's talking about, I guess, when you had, hold on, your little.
No. I'm just
your little Black academia ass. I'm just kidding.
That's my little bit of bouginess that I can hold on to.
Okay, you ain't bougie. All right, sure. I'll go with that. But yeah, so I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, Somebody Said Deliver Us from Eva is a good movie. I vaguely remember that movie. I mean, it's like a cute romantic comedy. I think it was just, I don't remember it enough to kind of give an analysis of the relationship. But I do think it's interesting how we have this perspective of relationship that's really comes from white supremacist Eurocentric society. I always think about weddings. Weddings are like a perfect example. The way we flip out about weddings is so weird because weddings weren't always fanfare like that anywhere in the world, right? Not always. Not for poor people, for sure, right?
No.
And then it became a big fanfare in America and Black people adopted to it. But the thing is, a lot of the traditions, people will get mad at you for not following these particular wedding traditions as though they're your traditions in the first place. They're not. They're stupid. And the thing that is, and the stuff that is yours, you don't even know is yours. Like, for example, the meditation and trauma and healing from trauma and all that shit, all that comes from African consciousness and African, hundreds of thousands of years of African practices. In fact, from what I understand, Asia got it from Africa.
Yes. Now, you remember on Twitter, this was months ago, there was some lady that was mad because her kid was in school, and I think it was a music class, and she was getting mad, talking about she going to talk to the teacher because they talking about chakras and all this other kind of stuff. And I was looking at this, and I was like, they were talking about like it's a religion. like they was teaching their kids some type of evil religion. I'm like, damn, man, we that far gone.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't put that on a we. That's a religious. They're more evangelical people. So my dad was that way. So my dad thought meditation and yoga was demonic. My baby brother's mom, because she was raised in the same church, she believes that meditation is demonic. And I was teaching my baby brother about meditation because he needed to heal from his trauma from our dad, And I was teaching him about meditation and things that helped me a lot in my healing. My baby brother's 15. So I was teaching him and he was like, oh man, this is the greatest thing. It was like, it helped him so much. And he was on like all types of medication and all this other shit. But he's like feeling great because he started practicing meditation.
How the hell is it demonic?
Because they believe you're calling spirits into your mind, into your body.
All right.
I mean, it's no more ridiculous than anything else that people believe in religion. So it's the same.
That's true.
I mean, niggas believe somebody died on a cross and rose in 3 days.
Yeah.
And they take that literally. Or a nigga had a boat and put all these animals on it.
I mean, they can go inside of a goddamn pyramid and find writings on the wall, but can't find no resemblance or any evidence that guy that was on the cross ever even existed. But I digress.
But
you lose your lungs here.
I know, I'm dying over here. But that means I hit it good. I'm not gonna keep you guys up too late tonight. It's already 10 o'clock on the West Coast. But I just had these things that were on my mind and I wanted to talk about. And we hadn't done a stream in a minute. We're gonna be doing them more often. This week was a very busy week.
I haven't been on here in what? 3 weeks?
Whoa, has it been that long for you?
It's been a minute.
Oh wow. So yeah, I gotta do them more often too. So this was a busy week for us. We had I don't know how many interviews this week. So that's what I'm saying. Look out for the podcast. We got shit coming. We'll be streaming more. And I wanted to ask you guys too, would you guys be interested in maybe even just some short streams and videos of me talking about some of the trauma shit that I teach? Maybe just little brief things because I know I kind of cover stuff quickly on the podcast. But maybe there's something you might want me to break down.
Like pre-recorded, like we were recording.
It could be. It would be pre-recorded. It would be. But if you guys want me to do one live as well, it could be a little bit longer, and I could do like kind of a short lesson or something. Because I like talking about it, and I really want this information to go to my Black people. Because I think, for example, like how our brains and bodies actually work. Like how many people actually knew that these were biological, neurological needs outside of bread, water, and clothing.
I knew that, but I didn't find that out until I was 35.
Right, I didn't find this shit out until a few years ago myself. Right. So it's no judgment on not knowing it. I didn't know either.
I didn't know this shit.
Yeah, and we talk a lot. So we've both done our own healing, done our own work within ourselves. So we have a lot of information. But a lot of it needs to be shared more because a lot of us aren't getting therapy or aren't doing the research and doing the reading the books or whatever. Right. But yeah, so I could talk about things like maybe building connection, how to connect. I could even talk about empathy, what that actually means versus how people talk about it. Because empathy is not letting people do shit to you. Empathy is never absent of boundaries. But whenever people talk about empathy, they describe being nice. Fuck the nice shit. That's some white shit. We don't do nice. We do kind, we do compassionate, we do caring, and we do empathetic. But we do not do nice. That's some fake shit, right? So fuck the nice. And empathy is never absent of your keeping yourself safe. But people talk about it, they're like, oh, you have to forgive and forget. No, the fuck you don't. And honestly, forgiveness is something that naturally happens. You can't control it. Either you forgive or you don't. Whether you say it or not is irrelevant. It just naturally happens based off of how you're actually feeling and where you are in your healing. So we'll talk about all that. So it sounds like you guys are interested. I'm looking at the chat and I see someone needs to get blocked before we even wrap. So I'm gonna go ahead and block them now. Oops, didn't mean to do that for sure. But it's just saying racist shit or dumb shit. But yeah, so it sounds like you guys are interested. And I'll be working on that as well. Thank you so much for joining us on the stream. I appreciate you. Have a great Friday night. I know there's book club shit happening. Oh, and I'm in Discord. Y'all need to teach me this Discord shit. I'm in it. I don't know how the fuck to use it. So if you guys are on Discord, please teach me this shit. Cause I'm lost in the motherfucker. So yeah. All right, guys. Have a good night.